Welcome to the Sheriff's Report. Thanks for joining us. It's the Sheriff's Report with Chip Simmons. I'm Amber Southard.
And I'm Chip Simmons.
All right, so we kind of want to jump into this. We've had a really busy month. May has been super busy. It's springtime. People, the weather's perfect. People are coming out, and we got tons of events that have been ramping up, including our movie nights.
Yeah, we have, in fact, we have a movie night this coming up Friday. We're going to be at the Equestrian Center May 27th, and the movie is going to be Life of Pets. We've already shown a couple of movies. We've shown Sing 1 and Sing 2. Yep. It's been quite a hit with the kids. They're out there dancing. They seem to know all the songs, which I don't know, but
you do know.
I don't need to be dancing anyway.
Well, you do know some of the songs. I mean, they got some Elton John in there. There's some good classics that Sing 1 and 2 had in there. I know we had a bunch of families out. They lay on blankets and enjoy the whole thing. It was a good family-friendly time, and I think they've been going really well. I'm excited to see the rest of them that we have throughout the spring into summer.
Yeah, if you're listening, it's free. The movie's free. The hamburgers are free. The hot dogs are free. The drinks are free, and it's just a good time. And popcorn, yeah. We actually had some of our cadets going through with some popcorn and giving them out to people that are watching the movie. So we've had some great times. We've been at Roger Scott. We've been at
Escambia
High School, and now we're going to be at the Equestrian Center. Not necessarily in the middle of the Equestrian Center where the horses go, but we'll be off to the left, and we'll bring our own horses.
Yep, we'll have them out there. So please come see us. That's going to be this Friday at 6 o'clock. Also, the Blazer Academy has started back up. So we're on week 4 now of the Blazer Academy. Can you explain what the Blazer Academy is?
Well, basically, the Blazer Academy is a mentor program where we mentor young men and women, and kind of give them some life lessons. Some of the information that we have is unique to law enforcement. Some of the things that we see out on the street, some of the things that the cautionary tales really that we think can help them out. It stems from my background with coaching and some of the people that are involved in it. And we have former teachers that are sheriff's office employees. We have people that have mentored Big Brothers Big Sisters programs, and we wanted a way to give back and to kind of help the next generation, the people that will be taking care of us down the road, and people that will be leading Escambia County into the future.
I think one of my favorite things about it is even the first class that went through. Even though their academy ended, we still have communication with them. They're still texting some of the instructors from the Blazer Academy, asking them stuff. We were still doing some media stories with them, and it just seems like we've made such a great impact in these young men's lives that they'll carry for the rest of their lives. So it's so great. This time around, we've got more than 40 signed up in this class.
It's a big class. The last time I was in there, and they're really starting to interact well. It's not really a law enforcement youth interaction.
It's not a scared straight program.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more of a, hey, this is what's going on in the community, something you need to be aware of, and how can we help you? And it really works out well. Again, it's free of charge for them, and we're going to continue this program. As I said before, we also have a female Blazer Academy designed again just for females, and our thought is that we'll alternate the young men and the young ladies in the future. So once school starts, probably in the fall, we'll hold off until the following year, but we're in the midst of the young men Blazer Academy, and we'll be starting soon the Young Lady Academy.
And I do want to mention we call it the Blazer Academy. I don't want to miss that portion of it. At graduation, they get a blazer. And what was the thought process behind these young men and women getting blazers at graduation?
Well, initially, we wanted to give them some of the tools that they would need to succeed in life, and certainly in their near future. And a lot of the kids that we deal with don't really have a set of dress clothes, and so we're giving them somewhat dressy clothes. And if you look at the pictures that we had at the graduation of the Blazer Academy, they have obviously they have a blue blazer, they have a tie. We gave the young men a pocket watch, and we'll give a pocket watch to the young men in this class as well. And then we'll have a different gift for the young ladies. So it's bottom line is it's a bit of confidence in them. And we hear some of the kids tell the others, we look like $1 million. And I think that's very important. They feel confident. Yeah. They look confident. And it's just a rewarding experience, not just for the people that are in it, but for us. Yeah. I mean, we get to know them. We get to exchange some information with them, and as you said, a couple of them have called us, and we've actually continue some of that mentor program that we've established in the academy itself.
And don't worry, we'll be talking more about the Blazer Academy as our podcasts go on. And we might even do a special thing with the Blazer Academy just to kind of explain it more and break it down. And we'll definitely, if you're interested in joining the Blazer Academy, you can always visit our website at escambiaso.com. Or if you just want to learn more about the Academy, feel free to email me, pio@escambiaso.com. And then another thing that we've kind of started is this, we were sitting in your office one day and we were like, what are some of the hot topics here at the Escambia County Sheriff's Office, and how can we put those topics out there? How can we make our citizens aware of some of the things that we're dealing with at the Sheriff's Office, some of the things that we're seeing, and came up with that 2-minute warning.
Well, there are a lot of times that we're out in the public and you don't have that long with people. You know, you see them at a restaurant, you see them waiting in line, and they'll say, man, what's going on in Escambia County? And you have at the most 2 minutes. And so it's not really an elevator speech, but it's more of a, let's take 2 minutes to let you know what you need to know as a parent, or as a neighbor. And obviously the topics are going to change. Our first one was on internet safety. And you were in the office and we called them up and said, hey, if you had 2 minutes to talk to parents, what would you tell them? And that's the information that we put in our initial 2-minute warning. And that's the type of information, more of a quick hitting type of a cursory look at what they should know and to make their lives and their children safer.
And we'll be releasing these periodically on our social media. So if you want to see this past 2-minute warning that we did on internet safety dealing with children, head over to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. They're posted there. And I think the next one we talked about will be some kind of summer safety. The kids are getting out of school. We are around bodies of water, things that, parents, children might need to know about summertime safety and some of the crimes that we see around the summer that we deal with here at the Sheriff's Office. So keep a lookout for that. We should be releasing that one soon. And then we just had a great thing here at the Sheriff's Office. I love, this is probably one of my favorite ceremonies. This is the swearing in ceremonies that we have. And we just welcomed 8 new deputies here. That was on May 19th. And some of them were former explorers when we had the Explorer program, and then they worked their way as cadets. So it feels like we've known them, since they were teenagers. We have.
Because we have, yeah. We've instituted the cadet program. We went to the board. I went to the Board of County Commissioners last year and said, I need some cadets to help with recruiting. And so we were approved 10 cadet positions. And it's really worked out very well. We have these, we hire them, and then we send them to rookie school. And then in this case, we're able to swear them in as full-time sworn deputies. And the swearing-in ceremony, the badge pinning ceremony is really, really pretty cool because it's not easy to be in law enforcement. You have to pass an extensive background check. You have to go through the training, and then you have to be selected. So this is a very big day for them. And again, we were able to swear in 8 new deputies. We're recruiting very well at the Sheriff's Office. But if anyone has interest in law enforcement, please let us know. Oh, absolutely. You can always reach out to our recruiter. Her information, Michelle Crutchfield, is on our website at escambiaso.com if you want to become a part of that. What I do, you always say at the swearing-in ceremonies, and it always resonates with me, and I know it does with the people in the audience because you can see it on their faces, is you talk to their families. Because it's not just their choice coming into law enforcement. The families are along for this ride as well. Well, when I first got sworn in as a younger law enforcement officer, I was still living at home and with my parents, and it became something that they had to deal with. And then when you're married, you have a family, you work nights, you work days, you go to court, and it's something that yes, they can be very proud of, but they also need to understand it's going to be a bit of a burden at times. It is. You need to understand that some of the things that the men and women in law enforcement see every day is difficult to just put out of their mind. We talk about some of these things. We talk about some of them on our podcast. And we talk about some of them when we talk to the local media about some of the horrific things that we see. And it's difficult, and they're going to need your support. So I think it's important for them to know that. Good deal. Well, we've had some kind of crazy stories coming out of the Sheriff's Office here recently in the news, a couple crazy press releases we've been writing, and I guess we'll just dive right on into a few of those stories to share with you here on the podcast. We had some teens carjack this woman and then crashed the car they stole. It was very brazen. It was like 2:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday. Beautiful day. I was on call. I got the phone call, right? I get the phone call from the local media. Hey, Amber, there's a wrecked car. Of course, I want to say FHP because normally that's our spiel. But they started kind of explaining it more. And I said, well, let me find out. So when I made the phone call, I find out that this woman has been robbed by gunpoint, what she thought was gunpoint, and her front yard, very own front yard.
They're on North Z Street. They take her wallet off her wrist, cell phone out of her back pocket, and then hop in her car and drive off.
Yeah, so imagine you're going from your car to your home, and you get approached by two 17-year-olds, but you don't know exactly how old they are.
Yeah.
But you get approached by two males. One of them is carrying a black rifle.
Yeah.
And they rob you. They take your wallet and your car, like you said, and speed off. And that's how horrifying that could
terrifying.
be.
Yeah.
As you said, these two idiots were driving the car crazy. So crazy, in fact, they overturned it many times. Lucky to be alive.
And, while we're there at the scene at the woman's house there on North Z Street, we're getting calls into our dispatch at the same time.
They're driving reckless,
yeah,
right.
that there's a black Dodge Charger driving recklessly, in a different spot in the county.
Right. And luckily we're in the area. I mean, we get a call right away. I was privy to some of the in-car cameras. And you can see one of the individuals is right there about the car because he had some injuries. Another one gets out of the car and tries to run away, but the deputies are there pretty quickly. They chase him down, tackle him, and arrest him. These ended up being two 17-year-olds. It ended up being a BB or a pellet gun, but we put a picture of it on our Facebook page because we want people to know how much this looked like a real gun. And I've been asked a lot about my thoughts on why are they using this? Do they think it's going to be a lesser charge? And it really doesn't matter why they're doing it. They use these guns because they look real. Yeah. And they want the victim to know that they could be killed, that they could be shot. And so the charges are very serious. And I tell people all the time that these people that do stuff like this, don't come crying to the sheriff and say, no, someone shot me because I was trying to rob them. I'm going to have little sympathy for you if you get shot because you try to rob someone with a BB gun. Because these BB guns look real, and a reasonable person would take the action that they need to take to defend themselves. And it's just that this is not the first time that we've had this happen. It's happened like a week ago.
The same week, actually, earlier in the week.
A 14 and 16-year-old that time used a Glock pellet gun and actually shot the old 71-year-old
man outside of he was inside this convenience store or a store here in Escambia County. He scratch off, takes his lottery ticket in there, wins some cash off of that, $100. One of the kids, I say kid, approaches him. And
kids, 16 and 14-year-old.
In the store and says, hey, man, can I get $20? No, you sure can't. And so the gentleman goes on his way. Well, then the other one approaches him there in the parking lot with what appeared to be a handgun. I mean, it ended up being a BB gun, but shoots the 71-year-old in the face.
I think he shot 6 times, and he hit him and hospitalized the 71-year-old victim.
Yes.
Who's also a Vietnam veteran.
Yes.
Who has had a great day, right? He had won a lottery.
Hey, you're on top of the world. I'm a winner. Yeah.
Yeah. But in deputies in that case also, we got a car description, and we were able to catch these two felons as well. So
but they didn't even get the $20. They took nothing. They ran and hid.
Hopefully they're going to get a prison sentence is what we hope they're going to get.
That's exactly it. And you've been very vocal on some of these being adjudicated as adults because this is just completely ridiculous.
Enough is enough, right?
And then, to sum it up, we had another guy here. I don't even know what we're going to call him because he has so many names, to go on. I think, which was your favorite name he went by?
What we're talking about is a guy that was using fake IDs, and he actually had a machine to make them, and he was having a vacation of his life. He was at a couple different hotels, I understand, on Pensacola Beach. This one happened to be on Portofino Drive, and one of our deputies pulled up, and we'll call him, I don't know, John Tay Bates, Marcus Walker. I think we'll call him Marcus Walker for now. And he tries to take off, fights with the deputy, gets in the car, and tries to take off through the gate, the guard gate, and somehow he ends up on the roof of the car. The car's spinning, tires are spinning, and he's still in the car trying to get out.
The best we can come up with, and he even said it, didn't have my glasses on.
He says
maybe that was it. He just couldn't see. But we get there, he crawls out of the car, we get him in cuffs and everything, and he's sitting there. But we realize he has more stuff inside the car that shows these fake IDs that he's been using and credit cards and everything else to do fraud on people and businesses and everything else. But I think your favorite one was what, Indigo?
Indigo Clemens is always, anytime you can put an Indigo in there, And, with reference to Princess Bride, I think you're
Right.
in.
And then I like the Massico Morris. I think that was a pretty clever name he tried. But no, his real name was Jonte Bates. And we arrested him. And we're actually, I think, still finding places that say, hey, you checked into our hotel too. And we never got paid for that. So I think a little bit of those charges are
It's
still.
unlikely he's going to pay because
Yeah.
the cards weren't even real.
Yeah, ridiculous. So go check that out if you haven't seen that. We have a write-up there on our Facebook page for any of those. And please remember to follow us there. But you had some history you brought along with you.
Yeah, we like to because we are the oldest sheriff's office in the state of Florida, with apologies to St. Johns County.
No apologies.
Escambia County is the oldest sheriff's office in the state of Florida. Anyway, so I happen to have this book. This book is from my dear friend, the late John Appleyard. And so I start looking through it and give a little history of different sheriffs, because I think last time we talked about a sheriff that started the car patrol, the vehicle patrol, and it's kind of new. This one's about Curtis Whitaker. Curtis Whitaker was our sheriff in 1919 to 1921. He was born in 1874. And he began his career as a salesman and then an agent for a lumber company near Muskogee. And what's funny about these stories, you start hearing these names, and they still have names here. There's Muskogee Wharf. We were talking about Gillimard and Mallory and all these names.
There's road
and
names
it kind of
after
comes
them,
together.
buildings. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So this happened. Curtis Whitaker was named the sheriff because the previous sheriff wasn't aggressive enough with moonshiners and bootleggers, and the governor, Sidney Catt, who's a flamboyant Florida governor, quick to take advantage of the 18th Amendment, and he wanted people the sheriff to go ahead and arrest these people. So the funny part is that the governor, they had phones back then, but the governor called and he got Sheriff Whitaker's wife. And the governor said, hey, I need your husband to be the sheriff. And without even asking him, she decided, yep, he'll do it. So
as wives do,
He's doing that. So anyways, but because he knew that Curtis Whitaker, who then had to quit his job with a lumber company to become the sheriff of Escambia County. Two big things happened during his tenure. One was that the Navy was transferring the training for what they call lighter than air crafts or airplanes away from Akron, Ohio, and such training, which began in 1916 in Pensacola, now became even more in Pensacola, and that's why I guess that's part of why we're the cradle of naval aviation, is what I would say. The second event was a fire that took place in 1919. Pensacola High School was apparently destroyed back then. I didn't know. I guess we're on our second building called Pensacola High School. So, and the last story I'll tell you is that the sheriff was big on bootlegging and getting the liquor off the streets.
Yes, he was.
At one point, he decided to act undercover on his own. Checked into the San Carlos Hotel, which, as you know, was a historical hotel here in downtown Pensacola. I'm still here whenever you and I were growing up, and when I was with the Pensacola Police Department. They called a bellboy. They thought they'd be slick. Called a bellboy and ordered a bottle of whiskey. The bellboy obliged, bringing the whiskey to him. They arrested the bellboy and figured they're going to get the information from the bellboy. Why would the bellboy not tell them where the whiskey's coming from? But he couldn't do it. The bellboy zipped it, buttoned up, and would not tell them. And apparently Sheriff Whitaker's daughter said before she passed away, that was one of the things that bugged the sheriff so much. He could never find out where the whiskey came from the San Carlos Hotel. So anyways, the Sheriff Whitaker stood for re-election, but was defeated, and he later passed at the age of 54. So Sheriff Curtis A.S. Whitaker, 1919 to 1921.
Those are some interesting developments with him. The San Carlos, I think we all can kind of remember.
Well, you can picture, you can imagine. You get up here at bellboys,
We don't
even have bellboys anymore.
No. I mean, me coming up, the San Carlos, unfortunately, just became a spot for homeless people, living in there. Unfortunately, that's the memory I have of it. But
it's now a federal courthouse. So
yeah. So, anyways, I like to end with a great joke. Every time.
Your jokes normally put an end to this show anyway. So
it does.
Go ahead.
You ready?
I'm ready, yes.
What do you call a cop that has learned how to fly?
I got nothing.
A helicopter.
Helicopter. It's better than your last one, but it's still a C-.
I'm working on it. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this podcast. Again, it airs the last Wednesday of every month. So check us out on iHeartRadio. That's for your mobile device. You can do it Android or on your iPhone. If you can check us out there, you can check us out on our YouTube channel and actually watch the show. We'll put some video in there to make it a little more interactive for you. But again, thank you so much for joining us.
Y'all stay safe.